You ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay. This is the job that I lost my coordinate file and you helped me get it back the last time we met.
Yep,
You remember that?
I do.
Here is something interesting that I think is left over from that. But if I inverse between 239, and it tells me there's no such coordinate stored, and 235, and it tells me the same thing. But if I open this job, open that point, it clearly has coordinates.
Yeah.
So what do I need to do? Update the file from the drawing?
Yeah, probably. Let me take a look at your file here a minute. Request control. All right, so 236, 226, 236. Yeah, that's all it is. Yep. So that's exactly what you need to do. You need to update. I would have thought that it would have said that it differs. I would have thought it would have flagged that difference, but apparently if.
Is that in point utilities?
Yep, there's one place there and.
Upgrade CRD file from drawing?
Correct. Now, yep, that's good. And you got your wild card is asterisk. That means get them all. Okay. And then it says select any Carlson land development desktop, soft desk, inroads, Eagle Point, geometer, Leica, or microsurvey points. And you can just type ALL and hit enter. And that gets everything in the drawing. Then hit enter to finish the selection. Now, see what it's saying there? And you see there are different positions. So.
Oh boy.
And they're significantly different, like 800 feet different.
Well, maybe I should cancel that then.
Well, or you could renumber or let's see.
Well, I can renumber, but I don't want to start with base 8.
Well, you could go to the end of the file and give it a, what is your last numeric?
I can start with 300 numbers.
Yeah, but let's say like 1001.
No, I don't like to use 1000 numbers. Let's just use 300. 300.
Something like that.
Yeah.
All right. Now, before we do that, let me take a look at this list, and that's gonna. What do we got? 1, 1, 1, 1, 2.
Those are field located points. That really bothers me.
All right, so the one we're talking about is 83. All right, so now 83, 861.15, 135.54. And they're saying in this drawing, it's
How about if I cancel out of this? What I really want to update are the 200 point numbers,
All right,
not the, I don't want to change any, field located points.
okay,
Let me do something. Let me inverse here to 83. Well, see, 83 is there. It exists.
so that's where, yeah, but see, 83. Is that where 83 is?
No, it's
259?
not. It's not where it is. So I'm wondering what has happened to my coordinate file.
That's 5.83. Oops. Yeah, it says that's 83.
Yeah, well, it's not.
Where is it supposed to be?
Well, that's a good question. I'd almost have to look on my data collector to see where it's supposed to be. Wow, this file's really gotten messed up. Let me open another file here just for a second. That's the same one I have open. Let me look at something else here. Let me cancel out of that. Oh, wait a minute. There it is.
Yeah,
Down here, Putz merger plat saved after crash.
okay.
Oh, this has no,
Yeah, it's trying to inverse. So better to do an inquiry and do a find point. Thing. Whoops. Find by number. This still may not do it. It still may, yeah, it's still looking for a coordinate file. Well, here's what we could do. Just set a temporary one. I will call it, what's this? Putz. And then we'll do this. We'll update. Drawing. I know that's got your 39. See, there's no 83 in this one.
yeah,
Okay.
it's missing a bunch of field located points.
Are they all on, I wonder? I guess they are. Right one, update the coordinate off the drawing. All right, let's see, see, look at this, point number one already used. You've got another point number one. Let's make this. I don't know how high they go. Just want to do that, renumber all. So now. There's one down through there. Then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here's one. Is your base. So you had 2 points that were called number one. Oh, hold on a second, Mike. That's Diane. I gotta see what she's driving to work. Yes, hon.
Hi. I'm sorry.
Okay, Mike.
Yeah,
Mike, you still there?
I'm here. Hello,
Michael?
I'm here. Hello,
Mike, oh, are you back? I can't
hello.
hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Let me see. Can you say something now?
I am saying something now.
Oh, there we go. I don't know. Apparently when I muted and I come back in, it stays muted on my end. I had to bump the volume up and then back down. Anyway. Yeah, that was Diane. She said she just got a message from her daughter that they just went to Disney World for vacation. And her husband came home yesterday, tested positive for COVID last night. And they were at our house, I guess Saturday night. So,
Oh, well, good luck.
yeah.
Okay, now I've got I've opened up my data collector here, which has got the original points. And they are completely different than the points that I'm looking at on this.
Hmm.
Completely different. For example, point number 1 is the northing is 321, 423.8725. tell you
Wow.
what, let's go out of this drawing for a second and go back to the other one.
All right.
Okay, that's right. That number one is right.
Right.
Let me go down here. Oh, see, now it's got 83 there.
Yeah.
Let me see what 83 is. I'm gonna read it off the data collector. You tell me if I'm reading the same thing there.
All right.
32258.85.
Yeah, no, you missed that one. This is 322.861.15. 0.
Which one are we reading now? 83.
3.
322. Wow, I need reading glasses. That's a shocker. I'm reading 322.258.8358. Northing and easting is 2409845.8840.
Yeah, so you're not. It should be 3, or this file has 322.861.15. 2408135.544.
Okay, let's look at another one. Let's look at 49.1.
Look, I just had it there. Let's see, here it is. Okay.
Well, let's look at actually 49.
All right.
Is 322.415.9878.
Okay, that's good.
And 2409514.5492.
That's correct.
Okay, so just some of them are. Well, let's look at this drawing again. Let me tell you, when I compute in the past, I have found that when I annotate variance and distances along lines, if I pick points, I sometimes end up with the wrong dimension, which is why I prefer to do it with inversing, which is how this problem came up to begin with, because I couldn't inverse between the points. Let me just think about this for a while, but let's go on with the drawing here. One of the first things I'd like to do is I decided not to hold this straight line that's shown on the previous plat because it's really not very meaningful. So what I want to show are the chords along the river that I located.
All right.
So I want to, and you showed me how to do this the other day, and I tried to do it and failed. Is
Yeah.
drag the floodplain over to make it correspond with this line.
Okay. And which of those lines do you want to correspond with, the blue or the red?
Well, they're actually the red. Well, they're pretty much the same.
Well, should they be the same? Because I mean, they're not. So if they should be the same, we can make them the same.
No, this is the red lines are chords. The blue line is actually taken off of the floodplain map, and they're shown as curves.
Okay.
So
All right.
the red one is what I want to match with, I guess.
So the red one, you say?
Yes.
Okay. So to make it a little easier, so we're not accidentally grabbing things, we're going to isolate just these two things. So if you'll click the red line, and then click the gray hatch. And now you want to go up to the view menu and see where it shows show hide by selection. It's down below, just below midpoint, right there. And you want to isolate by selection. Okay. So now, oh, now you got to go pick them. So now pick the red one and then there you go. And now pick the hatch. Okay. And now hit enter to finish. Say no to all for right now. Okay, now.
Oh,
Wow, I
yeah.
see. All right. So let's turn these back on. I'm gonna come back up here and I'm gonna see these lights up here are what do it. If we let's isolate. Wait a minute, let's see. If we isolate that layer. Now let's join nearest. Layers, that's good. All right. All right. Now we'll restore, and now we will isolate. You see where I'm pointing up here? All right, so I'm isolate by selection. And now I'll get that red line and the hatch. All right, now we've got two things that we're going to do, and we've got your snapping is on. Make sure your settings are good for that. As we want endpoint, I'm going to turn off these other ones for right now. Okay, so what you're going to do is you need to put in all of these vertices that you see on this red line. They need to be entered into this line segment of this gray part. Okay.
Okay.
So to do that, you're going to select the hatch. Now think of that as simply a polyline. So to add a vertex to a polyline with these grips, you're going to hover over that midpoint grip along the line. Yeah, see that, and just hover and add a vertex. Now, to make this easier to do, because you're doing go right up in here somewhere and just click in space.
Go right up where?
Up, yeah, right in there. Keep, away. Yeah, keep going up. Oh, not too far. Come back. Right there. Yeah, see, I want to be able to see these. Okay. So now do another one down here to on this midpoint right there. Add a vertex and go inward. No, inward, go like, yeah, keep going. Or not, yeah, pull down a little bit. You're going to adjust these later. Just pull this on down to the south. Keep coming south. Now go east. Yeah, in there somewhere. What you want to do is you want to see, I wanted to be able to see all of those vertices in the red lines.
Okay.
Now, start down below it. I'll do a couple of them here. What's going to happen is each segment, I'm going to add a vertex, and then I'm going to snap there. Okay. Then I'm going to come here and I'm going to add a vertex, and I'm going to come up here and grab that one. Okay, now this, I can probably just move this one up to the next endpoint, which is right there. And I'll move this one, let me move that on up to here. I want to always be able to see that red, so now I'm gonna let you do a couple, so yeah, add. There you go. There you go.
And
Yeah.
move this one.
Yeah, or you can come up here and grab right here and get that first one. Now do it again and then come and start working your way back and save, or is that the last one? I don't know. Okay, right there, okay. Now, is there only one more? And you can check it and see, you just escape. So you clear the selection and select your red line again. So the grips are there. So you see there's only one more vertex. So now go back and click the hatch and just grab that one grip and move it up to the other endpoint. There you go, click. And that should do it.
And escape.
Yep.
And then,
Now, no, this is a restore from the view you isolated. So yeah, get those lights. It's that one right there. Yep.
oh, I still have this one.
It's all right. You can do the
Let
same.
me, this is, let me turn off the tie line. You freeze that. I don't really need it.
Okay.
So now I would isolate this layer. And isolate these two layers again and do the same thing.
Yep. And now you won't have to scoot the point in because you can see through it. You can just click it and just start adding vertices. There you go. And I'd start all the way up at the end.
Up here.
Yep. Now grab it midpoint again and add the next one in sequence. Make sure there's not one in the middle there first. There you go. See?
I got it.
Looks good.
Okay. And now then, uh-oh, okay, that's okay. I have a lot of missing dimensions here because things are really tight here. and here and along the river. So what I was going to do is to create a line table.
Yep.
And a curve table, I guess. Although I guess you could do this as one table.
Yeah, either way.
So that's what I need some help in.
Okay. So,
So where to start down?
are all of your annotations? Well, they're not.
They're in model space.
Yeah, okay, so it'll be easier if we work down here, I think, and then we'll put the table out on the side and we'll just cut another viewport for that. All right, so what is it that we are annotating? We want to isolate that layer.
Well, actually, there are several. Let's see. I think I called this. That's called boundary. Yeah. I think boundary and river boundary are the two.
Well, oh shoot, I keep doing that. Let's see here. You can,
Although I don't really need to have river boundary as a separate layer anymore. Let me look at that for a second. Yeah, boundary on river. Why don't you just change that to boundary?
all right. No, wait, you've got more than one thing selected. Press escape and then go back and grab it. All right. Now press escape there. Let me take a look at something right here. I was noticing. Seemed like there was oh, that's that blue line. I thought it was a extra point in the.
I don't know that I really need the blue line on anymore. I could probably, well, no, I guess to show the
Yeah.
part.
So let's now isolate the layer. Instead of having to isolate the object, we'll just isolate the layer. Oh, wait a minute. Let's restore that. Let's isolate that layer and the calls. Like that, right?
Okay.
Now, was there something down here that's, I'm going to turn off the line weights for right now,
How did you do that?
right down here,
Okay.
the bottom, I just double clicked that right there.
Okay.
One thing too, let's see, what is there? Okay. Is this at, what's their scale over here? 300,
Uh,
200?
200.
All right, so let's change this to 200 here in model space so that the line weights or the line patterns will match. All right. Okay, so is this supposed to be over top that line, or we decided to not do that?
Is what's supposed to be over top? No, the line, yeah,
See how this is,
yeah, it's supposed to, the other one's supposed to be the same way.
or which one's correct?
That one. So
So
This should
bring
be-
that one to the front then. Looks like,
the front or, yeah,
oh, it must not be the same symbol. So this symbol is SPT4W. And this symbol is probably just an SPT4.
Yeah, okay, let's change that.
So we'll change that to. And what about these?
Well, those show up as unmarked.
Do you want the lines to go through them?
No,
There's that one. All right. It needs to be to the front. Here.
oh, there's boundary missing there.
Boundary missing. Did you say?
Yeah,
All right. First of all, let me get all of these brought to the front. Then I think symbolically they're okay. This one. All right, so now. Where was your boundary missing?
There's a boundary in here,
Okay,
goes down to the road.
so
I called
let's,
it a merger boundary. I can just change it to boundary.
well, either that or we can we just make sure we grab it. So I'll get that, and then that. There we go. So an anno boundary, okay. Alrighty, now we need to decide. How to do these tables. And there's a couple of ways. We can do it as an automatic. And it goes through and reads everything and decides if it's going to make a line table or not based on the length. Or we can specifically add each one individually, which is probably what we should do now since these are already there.
Okay,
So. See what this line is here. Are there two lines in there? No. Boy, this is a problem that I have with. See, we like that nice dashed pattern for our boundary, but this boundary is changing so fast and so quick. right in here, you lose segments because they're all within the gap.
Yeah,
So we'll think about that here in a minute. You can do it by like turning off this line type generation so that it starts over at each point. But like I said, then that means, see how it's solid all the way down?
yeah,
Now we could let's turn the line type scale down a little bit. Maybe half of what it used to be. Even that's still not enough. Half of that finally gets that segment, and then these segments work. That actually doesn't look half bad. We might need to do that. Let's try this. Select similar if I can find it. There we go. And this one as well.
okay, that one should be solid. That's a new line.
Okay. What's that? Yeah, there's two. All right, so see, this is another issue that you have. This polyline goes through here, and those are the edges of that line, okay? This polyline also goes through there, and those two edges are common. So you've got two lines in there, on one on top of the other. That's why this pattern looks like it does here and doesn't look like this.
Right.
So one thing you could do is you could take out those extra vertices. And so now you've only got one underneath here, and it belongs to this one that goes back. And this one ends right there.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's one thing to keep in mind when you're doing these multiple things. If they, closed polylines are great for calculating like single boundaries, but when you got adjacencies, that can cause those problems. Right now, we'd have to also bring this guy back to the front because those points were just over top of it a little bit. All right. So now to set this table, we're going to go to the annotate menu. And we're going to come down here to this line/curve table.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a couple of things we can do. We can set up some, let's look at these table defaults and see what we've got. The layer, I'm just going to put that on our anno boundary. Well, no, we'll leave it on that line table just so we keep it there. All right, and the text right now does not match. That's your Arial in there. Is that correct? That's probably
It's called
standard.
standard, I think.
Yeah, standard. So we'll set that to be standard. Do you know the size? Do you remember the size of that text in there?
I don't.
All right, let me say okay to that. And we'll find out what it is here. All right, it's 16 units. Oh, so that's 0.08. Okay. Back to our defaults. We got 0.08, 0.08. L for a line prefix like L1, L2, L3. Same thing
Right.
for curves.
Yep.
Line table title. Oops, I guess I better spell it curve correctly. All right, 1 second again, Mike, sorry. Okay, Michael.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. That was Diane calling me back. She said HR told her that if she was completely without symptoms to come on in, she can keep her mask on, but if she starts to feel bad, to change it. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, let's let's continue setting this up. So if I set my line table labels, that's what I click next. The line number, these are the headings over the table.
Yeah,
It'll say line, then it'll say like L1, L2, L3 underneath it. So line, bearing, azimuth, if we're going to use it, we're not going to use those, but it'll say line and bearing and distance. And this sets the column width over here. So I think they're okay. Distance is good for that. And it's probably the same for the curve. Let's see what we want them to say. It's going to say which curve, and it's going to say a radius, an arc length, chord length, chord bearing. All right, so those, we can take those as default, and let's see what they look like. All right. Bearings, automatic updates are on. Alignment will be parallel. That means when it puts down the L3, is it going to, run parallel to the direction of the line, or will it be always horizontal like this, like the point description? You see how that's horizontal there, but the bearing is parallel to it. So that's what that means. All right, so, and if we use a table entity, that means it's going to use a CAD table when it builds it, and that's an option. Otherwise, it just draws boxes around text. So sometimes that's actually preferable, but when you do it as a table, you can select it just one click and you've selected the whole thing, and you can take care of the, you can set some properties on the table. So we'll leave it like that for now and see what it looks like. Label, symbol. That's if you want to draw a circle or a diamond or a square around the label. We won't need to do that. We won't prompt for the label location, the order of the curve options, what sequence. So what all do you want to put in a curve table? The radius, the length.
yeah, the chord length. What's the chord angle mean? The bearing?
That's the chord bearing, yeah.
Yeah, want that.
Okay, what about delta?
Yeah, the delta. And then that's it, I think.
Yep, all right. That should be good for that. All right, next. Table header, and I'm not sure exactly what this does. Type of table, let's do a line table. Starting point or point number of the table. Now this is where we're going to tell it where to start here. Okay. And then if we repeat that command and say for the curve table, so we'll see what happens here. They should now be ready to go. All right. So now when you do your line table command, we're going to get just the line segments. And so you're going to select the line either selecting the line, or you could use points. You see there is an option on your command line. But let's start, say, where do you want to start? Where's your POB in your description?
I don't have one.
Oh, okay.
Well, okay, I would say, if I'm gonna have one, it would be down here.
Okay, and then you're going to go clockwise, or?
Yeah,
All right, so go ahead and pick that line, I think. Let's see what happens. Go ahead. All right. And now it asks for a line number. Now it says 12 because the last time the command was run, apparently we've done 11. So you want to type a 1 right there and hit enter. And why is it asking for the? Why is it wanting that again? I thought we already did that. Let's just do this and come. Well. I don't know why it repeated it. All right, so there's L1 and it goes this way. Oh, but we don't have points in there, do we?
Well, maybe the thing I should do is select, instead of selecting a polyline there, and select points.
Yeah, I think so. Let me see.
Yeah, see, I picked the wrong one.
Yeah. All right, so let's clear all this mess out of here for now. And let's go back and do it by points. Let's take this and this out as well. All right. So I'll let you do it. Line curve table. Let's do the lines. And let's do it by points. And when it comes to points, we're going to, instead of type point numbers, we're just going to snap to the endpoints.
Okay,
All right. So line table, select line P for points. Okay. Pick the point or point number. So just, there you go. Endpoint, endpoint. Perfect. 1, type 1. Now go off to the side over there and click a place where you want the table to start. There you go. All right. Now you're going to go and you have to type, okay, it's still in point mode. So now you can go, yeah, from that endpoint to that endpoint. And 2 is fine. And we'll reposition these labels later.
okay,
Now pick the next one you want to be L3. Is that a line segment or a curve segment between the, because we can't see it. It's between the iron pipe and the other little.
it's a line segment.
All right. So just grab the endpoint to endpoint.
Oh,
Oh, huh. All right, so let's just escape. And let's repeat the command again, just up arrow and hit enter. And now it's still in point mode. So instead of, pick, well, but if we hover on the point itself, on the circle of the point, right in, all right, so that's going to endpoint. So let's, instead of doing that, press escape again to clear, to get off the command. And if we look at our settings, let's do our point object snapping on also. So this way, when we do this, when we hover here, you see how it grabs that
yeah,
point?
yeah,
So point. Yeah, it's, I see it there in the middle, point. Okay, and that's line 3.
okay, yeah,
Okay, and then this one.
yeah,
So there to there. Where'd it go? There. And that's 4. Now are we going up this way?
no, I was gonna continue going clockwise.
Okay,
So
so coming around, so that's gonna be a curve. So we'll come down here. There you go. I'll let you drive now.
Okay. I'm trying to remember, I think this is a line, not a curve.
All right.
Is there any way to tell?
Well, press escape right now. Get out of the command. Now select that red line. Now hover that and you see where it says convert to arc.
Yeah,
That means right now it is a line. If you hover over the midpoint of one of the arcs, go ahead and do that. And it should say convert to line.
okay,
So that's how you can tell.
okay.
All right.
Good to know.
Yeah. So now go back and
Up
rerun.
arrow and enter.
Well, make sure, I mean, you may have to do up arrow a couple of times. I don't, did we, was that there it is, line table, so enter. Ten, so that's fine. There you go.
Okay, well, then I guess I can
What
ready to
about that?
start.
What about that closing?
Well, I was gonna just label that, but I guess I could.
Oh, okay. What about,
I guess I can put it in the line table.
yeah, all right. I was gonna say, because you've got like this L5 down here. But it's pushing it, but you might could have, but I would say you're fine with that. So that's L11 and now I would, yeah, do that one to the,
I don't want to go to that endpoint. I want to go to that,
so just hover over the edge of the point symbol. Wait a minute. There it is. What? No, see there is a 0.29 there, but it's not on that line. There it is.
okay, so hit enter.
Yeah. Did you get it? No,
No,
there. Okay, and then click. Then to there, yeah.
okay, then,
Go. Now, you might, well, that's on that same bearing up there. I got, okay, never mind. I was gonna say you could use that. You could also add that 23 in as that little 38.97 segment, but that's already handled and it's at that same bearing. So I think that's probably addressed.
Right.
So you got that one to do though.
Okay, I think that's all of the lines.
All right.
I think. So escape,
Or hit escape or enter, either one, I think. Okay. Now you do the same thing with the curves.
okay, so that would be annotate. Annotate.
No, past it. Come back. There you go.
Curve table. That would be curve table.
Now, again, you have to choose either points or line.
Oh, I don't have the radiuses computed for all of these.
Well, I mean, it'll read what the radius is. Oh, wait, I see. Pick the, oh, okay, that's simple. You were gonna pick the radius point. So I'm gonna shift. Right click, center. And pick that arc. Now, let's see, snap the center. Now pick a point or point number for other
Yeah,
endpoint.
point.
Yeah. And which way do you want that to read? Which way do you want the bearing to read?
Well, it's asking for the direction of the curve, which would be, this is a left curve.
Yeah. If you're going in that direction, right? Correct.
And it's curve number 1,
Yeah.
starting point. Okay, and I need to pick where the curve table is going to go.
Yeah, and I'll show you a little trick when you get over there. Go over there and hover over the upper right corner of the line table. And just hover on it, and apparently it's not going to pick it up. Okay. Oh, why is it doing that? Like, shoot. Somehow or another, it's turned that off. All right, so now when we hover there and drag out, see that line that shows up, that way they'll
Yeah.
be lined up. So there you go.
Okay.
And now select curve, and now go back to P for points again. Now, once the radius, so you can shift right click.
Shift right click.
Yep, and choose center. Point to the arc. Okay, and now get the endpoint, just, there you go.
And that is to the left.
Yep. Two.
Okay.
What happened?
Something's weird going on.
Hit enter a minute. There you go. Yeah, I see what it's doing is it's asking every time it's asking for point or line. So if you just click on the line, it's reading it and it's not prompting you for the points. There you go. So now hit enter. Yeah. And do one more up there.
Well, it's gonna pick this whole curve.
Okay,
And I really need to do
P for points.
P for points.
Now
And then
shift
shift.
center.
And it's to the left. Okay, then I need to do points again.
Yep.
Shift. Center. And it is to the left again. Okay, so then I can just select the arc.
Yep. And it's got those.
I think those are the only curves. I don't think I have any curves anywhere else on the boundary.
Alrighty.
So enter to end.
Yep. Now, let's go over and fix some of this stuff. One of my pet peeves on the way they do stuff, these should not be left justified. These should be right justified. And because it's a table, oh no, it's a block. Let's see here. No, moron. All right, let me see. It won't let me do that. I want to. All right, let's see if we can do this way. Edit table properties. Select that. Line curve table defaults, general table editor. Let's see about that. All right, line left alignment. We'll make it center. And distance we'll make right. So these are now centered, those are right. All right, let's see what else we can do with that. Nothing needed for that. Those are the columns. Distance is a little large. Let's make that 8. should be centered. Then 11. Here we go. Header alignment. Header alignment, right. I wanted that to be center. There, that's what I wanted. And let's see, one last time. So the general table editor, now the title scale. .125, we'll make that 1/8 of an inch and it's centered. There we go. Now, we'll do the same thing over here.
Can you do a match properties in this case or no?
Nah, because these are blocks and it's going through programmatically and fixing that. So general table, we had down here, the scale was 0.125, centered, the headers centered. And let's see. Curve. Be centered. Radius. Be to the right. Is the distance same as arc length? It's chord length. Chord bearing, we're going to center. And finally, the delta angle. Center. And there we go.
Oh, there's something I need to change on the delta angle. Is expressing the
Yeah, that's the 4th to the 10,000th of a second. Yes, I saw that. So we'll fix that in just a sec. And let's see, what did we have for these widths? So if I do this one, to the lines, 6.2 bearings, or 11. distance or 8. Okay. Six point two. 6.2. Oh no, let's see, line 6.2. Hang on a second. Yeah, 6.2. Okay, so that. Curve 6.2. And then all of these distances should be 8. And that's probably gonna not be long enough for that word right there. We'll see in just a minute. I think we'll have to take the word length out of both of those if we want to keep this smallish enough to look good. And the bearings are 11. Yep, so let's go back to the defaults. And for curve radius, let's just call this arc chord. Six point two. Eight. 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 11. And then delta. Well, you give me a choice on setting that, huh? All right, radius, this will be right. That would be center, right, and right, and right, and center. See if we can do this. Let's see, that's already set. All right. All right, now let's see. is arc chord bearing delta. How do we get that's one way we can manually edit that if we need to, but let's come back to that, see if we can find one more spot for it. Let's see, let me take that table. Properties. Defaults. Now, see if we can find this one. Delta angle sequence of 5. So you can place in there to set it. That one I don't have to get. Let's see now. I don't see any place to set that.
Could it be in a general settings where you're talking about angles?
Yeah, next place to look here. So degrees, minutes, seconds. Good call. Arc angle decimals. No, see, it still should be 4. Because that's degrees dot minute, minute, second, second. That should be what that is. But I'll bet that's what governs that, and it would need to be recomputed. Let's see, I know how we can test it here. Under arcs, we'll leave it at 0. And then let's just annotate this arc. With a stacked label. Yeah, see the delta there?
Mm-hmm.
That's, and the chord bearing, all that, that's what we want.
Right, and I remember I used to have to go in there and fix that too. I did that by hand.
So if we do this to this way, and then let's try that same command and see if that, oops, da-da.
Yeah, there's the arc.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly where it goes, where it is set.
Yeah.
So I I mean, I understand, but an angle decimals, when you're talking about the way we normally calculate with the calculator and do our angles, we do a degrees, a decimals, a minute, minute, second, second. That should say, instead of arc angle decimals, it should say seconds decimals, or, you know, instead of, or keep it consistent with the CAD business here, because you see that precision of 4.
Yeah,
See, it's really 8 instead of 4, because this is the number
right.
of digits after the whole number, after the degree. So, and if it were just decimal degrees, it's the number after the decimal. Okay.
Right.
So that's, it's inconsistent with that. And I think that would be a means for improvement. Now, can we update this table? Yeah, it doesn't look like it. All right, we're just gonna have to do these manually. All right, so 2 minutes, 2.06, so that's 2 seconds. 32. That'll be 52. Means 18. That remains 11. Now, we could have, you know, gone back and
Yeah, but
re-annotate.
this way it's less painful just going in and doing that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We don't have to go through and be so careful with all that other mess. There we go. All right, there's your, let's save this. So there's those, and now you'll need to, you know, figure out how best to do that, and like little things like this, you might want to, you know, copy down, you know, this thing, like copy a little arrow down there and, you know, point to those little things, you know, so get them off, get them to where they're not so jumbled. And if you
Right.
need to pull this, say, you know, out and point to that segment, you know, you like, if you're needing to do that, I would suggest when you do that, go over here to the property, select the text and go to the properties and set the rotation to east. Okay, that's it with that rotation field,
Yeah.
just so that it's horizontal. But, you know, I'll leave that up to you as to what you might need to reposition. All right, so now over here, oops, let's come back and restore our layers, come back to our merger plat. And now we need to decide where we're going to put those. I think we've got adjoiners. And if we should move the adjoiners down.
Okay, there's something we can do with this boundary too. The legend, I mean.
Okay,
We can eliminate this. We can eliminate these two.
okay.
And well, and we can eliminate all three of these actually.
All right, what does your open circle mean though? Like you want to keep the top one,
Well,
right?
they're all labeled. The open circles are all labeled as something on the drawing.
Oh, okay, I see. Nope, escape. When you do that, when you have line work selected and you grab a grip, you're only gonna move that one item. Same thing with the
Okay.
text. Select it all and then issue a move command.
Then do I do
Yeah,
how
now
do
just, now just click a point. Yeah, off to the side and just drag it down. There you go. Hold the shift key if you want to keep it straight. There you go. All right. Perfect. Now we've got to put in at least one and maybe two more viewports. So let me see if that's a rectangular viewport. See, we could have made it follow like this, but we'll just, we can overlap these. I don't think it's gonna be so bad. So if I change, I want to make sure I'm on this layer called viewports. Okay, and now I'm going to draw, or you're going to draw a viewport. And if you go up to, I think this is on the view menu. And it would be about midway down in the upper block, where it says viewports. There you go. And you're going to create.
create model view?
Yeah. Create a model view viewport. Now, so here it is. You're going to, it's by default, it's just asking for the first corner. So I would go just under the location map, click, and then draw down to the right so that you're gonna, there you go, click, and then drag it over all the way toward the words. You're gonna overlap. Keep coming. There you go, like that. Oop, too far. Back it off the word a little bit. There you go, right there. Just click. All right, now. Before we do anything with that, let's go ahead and select this and drag this down a little bit to I think that might work. All right, so now when you double click inside it, go ahead. Oh, wait, yeah, okay, go ahead. Now just double click the wheel on the mouse so that it's does a zoom extents. That's what I was afraid of. Hang on a second. Let's see if do we have outside of that just a point. All right, there we go. I don't know why that is. It's for years, Carlson has always, some commands will leave a little stray point. down there at 0, 0. And you gotta clear them out every now and then. All right. So we'll come back over to this and we've got merger plat. Okay. I can tell right now we're gonna need to bring this all the way down. Okay, now double clicked inside it. Go ahead and double click.
Wheel.
Go ahead and double click the wheel on the mouse now so that now you want to pan this like so with the wheel. And I'm just going to put that table about in the middle and then I'm going to zoom in and now what we got to do is see if let's see if the scale, see that's annotation scale 200. Let's see if we can set that to be 200. All right, so there's 200 scaling. So I can even bring this in a little bit. And the reason I set it to be 200 scaling, Mike, is because where I did it over here in model space, I was set to a 200 scale there, and that set all my text heights, so I didn't have to worry about my my annotative text size and that sort of stuff.
Okay.
All right, so now I'm going to select it and I'm going to lock it.
When did that get unlocked? I didn't notice this unlocked.
You created it and it creates it unlocked.
Okay, I got you.
Oh, yeah. Anytime you've done these before, you've already had one that's locked. So, all right, so now if you want to, like, so you can move this, you know, reposition it anywhere you want on the screen. I'm going to take that snapping off and let's see if we can't get this a little bit more like so. Say no snapping. I want that curve table to sort of tuck in, yeah, like that. Now, do I want it to be that much or not? Or actually, you know what we could do is this. If I move this up like this. Now, I'm going to select this and just copy it. And I'll copy it from here to here. Now, the reason I'm doing that is I'm going to take this. Whoops. This I'm going to make just for the line table. Make sure that's snapping is off. And then this one I'm going to make just for the curve table. Oops, let's get it a little bit further. Now, move that up and position it. right there, so that the edges are lined up, and now I'm gonna move it straight down. So now if if you consider that with the, let's see, let's change this layer for a second. Just go to notes. So that would look like that. And it may be what you like. You may have liked it like it was before. If we want to look at, I mean, so I don't know. The only reason I copied that down was, excuse me, so I could have a viewport each, for one for the line table, one for the curve table. If they were okay, though, the way they were tucked in over here,
Yeah,
like, I don't know if you have anything else you might need to do over there.
not that I know of, but
All right. Well, let's see what that will look like. I just erased that second one because I didn't need it anymore, and I'll just open this back up. And then let's see about. Wish it would give you a preview. Doesn't very well. All right, so now it'll look like that. You like that, or you like them stacked vertically, or what are your thoughts?
I think what I would like for them to do is for this to come over to the edge of there, and then for this to come right below it.
The way we had it just a minute ago.
Yeah,
All right. Woo. Like that. Then if we whoops. That'll look like that. Like that, or do you think they should be tucked in a little tighter, or what do you think?
well, I think this line should be right over against that line.
Oh, make it part of the,
Yeah, and the same thing
Okay.
here, and then bring this up so that this top line is touching the bottom of this line.
oh, okay, all right. So to do that, I need to put that layer back on, which was my viewports. Because that's what I'm actually manipulating here. So I'm going to take these two objects and I'm going to move them. And I'm going to go from, see, I can snap from that, even though I'm not inside it. But I'm
Yeah.
going to snap from that, and I'm going to just snap straight over to perpendicular to this line. And now I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Move from that corner to that corner. And now. That's what it'll look like.
Okay, then do we have room to put the adjoiner table under that, do you think?
We
Or is
could,
that too crowded?
no, I
Oh,
think,
that's a question I had for you. On the adjoiner table, you see how I have an extra line in there that I've been
Yeah.
unable to get rid of.
okay, sure.
That's not really a CAD issue, that's a Excel issue, I think. And see, it doesn't show up there.
Wait a minute. That's not gonna do it. Let's see here. Turn these viewports back on for a minute. Yeah. Okay. Now we've got here, let's see. This object. Joiners table down through D. Yeah. Well, that should.
You know where else I think I noticed it, as I recall, if you go to format table or format cells on there, I think it shows up there.
No, it shouldn't. You mean within Excel?
Yeah,
That's, see this. This entity is an object linking and embedded object, and it has characteristics of which, like, this 1.655641 is its height. And if I made that like 1.4, except it won't let me. And it's not letting me change it.
okay, well, I mean, if I have to live with it, I have to live with it.
Well, was it, did you used to have an extra line in there and you took it out of the
Yes.
spreadsheet?
Yes,
Okay. So it should have. Should have done that. Yeah, it's not the link. Yeah, it is right there. Existing file or web page is that drawing.
the text turned blue.
All right, so if we define the name A1 through D6. A1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, see, that's the proper range. Let's just copy it new and see what we can do with it here now. All right, next we will Now, Mike, to answer your question, what I did there, I mean, to answer the question that you didn't ask. What I did was I went back to, you know, or doing what we did before where you brought it down to just those four should have fixed that, but it didn't. So I just did it over again.
Okay,
So these now we're gonna move from here to there. And then that gives us room to move this. And do you want that like that as well?
yeah, I think so.
All right, let me see if I can get it up there close and then fine tune it here. Let's see, we move from here to there.
What do you think?
Well, take a look at it with the reds off. It's a little incongruous, I think, because you see this adjoiners and acreage,
Yeah,
those things actually sort of belong together more so than the adjoiners into the curve and line table. I
yeah,
would, I
you're
think.
right. Yeah,
And so what you might do is let's put those two things together. Because that's really the point of the plat anyway.
right.
And we're gonna move from there. There. And you can either have them like, stacked like that, or
Yeah, I think that's better.
a little bit more like that. Yeah.
And I guess I'm gonna have to get rid of that merger arrow that I usually use. I don't see. That's just not gonna work.
Well, on something this tight, it's gonna be tough, but
Let's just take it off and see if they make me do something else.
so like if I were to look at this as an arrow, what I'm saying is that it's this that's going to become part of, it's going to merge into this.
That's right.
Well, I mean, that concept is okay, but if you can't read any of your annotation.
Yeah. Well, I'm the only one who uses, of all the surveyors who are doing mergers, I'm the only one that uses an arrow like that. And I like to use it, but in this particular case, I don't think I can.
Yeah.
Why don't we just delete it?
All right. Yeah, because I mean, it's clearly identified. This is your merger parcel. And you've got the 103228, which is, do we have that anywhere? No. Oh, are these acres?
Yes.
I would be consistent. If you're using A, big C, big S to indicate acres, here, you should use it in your table or change this to big A, little c, period.
Okay,
Just as
I
a,
got you.
and here you see you've got DB, no periods, no space, and then P, no period, no space. Up here you got periods and spaces.
Yeah,
And I would say just to try to make it consistent so that they're not saying, well, what does ACS mean? Whereas I can figure this out over here. Or I know what this means, but you get the idea. Just
yeah.
And same thing down there. What is this? M space 06 P space 2.3, and up here there's no spaces. There's also one thing that I would probably do too. I know the text is two different styles. Like if I look at this one, got to get on the edge. So this is a text called Arial Narrow. It's 11. Up here it's 14, 12, and then 11. All right, so I'd try to probably match. The same thing here. Is I would set everything to be Arial Narrow. And this one was 14.
I don't remember.
And these were 11s. And I don't know what that's supposed to, is that probably also 11 should work. All right, so now that matches that. Text wise, something's still a little. No, I think that's all right. It's just that the word is bigger. Okay. And since we're not trying to make this room up here, I'm going to pull that off that location map again.
Okay.
Just keep like concepts. Root, just get it a little bit. There we go. All righty, now. The legend is good. Let's see, do we need to? I changed the scaling on that line type. There we go, now it matches. All right, now you've got this radius point shown here.
Yeah, no, I don't want that shown.
Okay, but I wouldn't just erase it necessarily. I'd just put it, do you have a points frozen or frozen?
I do have a points frozen.
All right. Well, I'll let you do that cleanup. I don't want to waste your time with me doing your edits.
Okay.
But you can take care of that. Now, we need to think about that. We need to think about the what was I going to say? The that 0.83 issue.
Yeah, no, that's gonna take some thought. This is there's supposed to be a line in there, isn't there?
There is, but the points are over top of it.
Um, let me do this in front of you so you can tell me.
All right,
I'm gonna move it a little bit. And
okay,
I'm going to make it go east.
all right.
I'm gonna move it a little bit again. Okay, now I want to draw a leader to that line.
Right. Well, you're a little too close with your thing, and yeah, there's something else too. You see that overhead line, overhead wire?
Yeah,
See the O looks like there's another point in there. So the symbology on that is sort of goofy. Plus, the label on the line is reading upside down.
you know
Okay.
what? I don't really know that I need to show
Well,
that.
okay, but if you ever do, and you got something like that and it's reading upside down, then the way to fix that is to change the direction of the line. You know how to do the reverse the line direction. It's on that polyline edit toolbar, the very top one in the far right there. Yep, and go right, nope, back 2 points, one more, right there. So when you reverse that, and they'll pick that line, or it's asking you to select the line. Yeah, see what it does? When you reverse the direction of a polyline, it flips the label.
Okay,
Now, sometimes what that means is if it goes like all the way around the property, two will be upside down and two not. So what you have to do is to actually, break the line apart into pieces and have one run one direction, one the other. So,
you know what? I don't need to show that on this.
well,
What was that called? Overhead line.
I don't know, but close that off for a minute there, Michael. There's a much easier way to do that. Close your layers off. The layer window. There you go. Yeah, if you want to freeze that layer, just go to your freeze layers tool. It's right in there. Go one more over, one more right there. There you go. Click it and then just click on that line. Okay. Now I see, now it's still asking you to click. So when you're done, hit enter. There you go.
Okay, now I want to move this over and then draw the leader.
Well, yeah, you can, yeah, just move it out of the way. Now you can move text with a grip if you've only got the one selected,
Right.
just
Okay.
so you keep it together. Yeah.
Then I go up and draw a leader,
Well,
and that would just,
first, what I would do is I would get on the same layer as that text.
is this
Uh-huh.
text.
Yeah, get on, make sure you're on that same layer. That's called Anno line table.
Okay,
So I would keep those together. So well, now what you're doing now is you're setting the layer for what you have selected.
okay,
So, yeah, there you go. And there's a shortcut way of doing that as well.
which is,
If the, the button that you use to bring up the layers,
yeah, there,
there's the button right to the left of it. You see, it says MOLC, that stands for Make Object Layer Current.
okay,
Choose that, it asks you to then pick an object and it sets you on that layer. So if you needed to be on, say, that gray adjoiner departure lines layer, you could do that and it would put you there.
okay,
You just run that command and then tell it which layer you want to be on. All right.
okay. So now I go to a draw.
Leader.
Leader. And use an arrowhead with a line or use,
Well, an arrowhead with a line is just that. Whereas leaders are actually dimension elements. So they're and leaders are typically useful for labeling things with a piece of text. Now, the piece of text you already have called L9, it's actually a piece of annotation, so you didn't really need to have it as a leader, but so but put a quick bookmark in there for right now. I wanted to do something before I forget it. This, oh, that's a building. Okay, never mind. I just wanted to make sure what there was because it came off of where that overhead power line went.
yeah,
And I didn't know if that was something that needed to be fixed. All right, so now, first thing I want to do is I want to check this. You know how Points has this thing called Move Points with Leaders?
yeah.
It would be nice if we could do that with annotation. I don't know that we can, but I want to look at the menu choices and see. I don't. But looky there.
Move label with leader.
Let's see if that works. Annotate with leader, move. Oh. We'll try it over here for a minute. Let me try one of these.
Try that L13 down there. That's got to be done anyway.
Let's see. Look for O for options. All right. Well, that should surely work, but why does it give that that arrow? Why does it point like? All right, let's see if that's just maybe a visual problem and it's going to find out. It'll fix it. Let's say if we put it out here, let's see if it does. Let's see. All right, but if we did do this one. Yeah, see, those type of annotations do work. See there?
Yeah.
So if you need to fix something like that, you could with those, but you've got a lot more going on here. What a real shame. That would have been ideal. If that would have worked. Label with leader. Yeah, I guess it's just not going to. There's nothing here. Well, okay, so we're stuck with doing it manually. So where were we before? Up there.
L9 over on the left,
Say 5, 6.
over there, right there.
Oh yeah, there it is. All right, so we're on the right layer. So let's try a couple of different things here. If we do a leader, let's see what's going to be easiest. If you do it with a leader, it's going to ask you to type some text. So you might just want to choose this
I'm gonna
arrow.
do that even with the leader. There's another command there called leader with text.
Yeah, it depends on what Carlson has done with it. That's a good point.
Let me
So-
ask you a question. I froze overhead.
Yeah, and you see it here. But
Right.
it's still frozen here because it's frozen within this viewport. And when I'm in this viewport, if I look at that, what was that layer? Do you remember the name of it?
Overhead power line, I think.
All right, so element O.
I guess that isn't it.
Was it utilities or? Let's do it's not over. Let's see. The OH, there it is. All right, so that was the layer, EUOH wires.
Mm-hmm.
It is thawed globally, but within this viewport, it's frozen. See that right
Okay.
there? So that's what happens when you are in, like you could have another viewport that shows everything. Maybe you've zoomed in for a detail and you want to see your utilities. So within that viewport, you could have it thawed, but within this viewport, you have it frozen. But if you freeze it at model space, or this would have the same effect as if you just freeze it here instead of in the current viewport,
Mm-hmm.
then it's frozen globally. Okay, so
Okay.
that's why you don't see it here and you do see it over here. Now, if it's just in your way and you never want to see it, you could freeze it here globally if you want. Okay, but then don't forget you got it
Right.
if you ever need it. So, all right, so now back to this. Let's see what these are going to do. If you do, here's a leader with text, and that draws a straight line, I'm reading down here at the bottom on the strip down here. So leader with text draws a straight leader between 2 points with an arrow at one end and optional text at the other. All right, so that's probably not going, let's see. See, leader with text and multi-leader with text. I think these are the older commands that Carlson did, and it constructed those out of just a drawn line, an arrowhead, and a piece of text. And a multi-leader the same way. Whereas these up here, multi-leader and leader, those are the CAD versions of those, and those are the dimension elements. I think that's what that is. So if I say leader, the start of a leader, you know, I might go from right here out to here. And you could juke it any way you like, or if I just say enter, first line of annotation text or options, either multi-line text, block copy none, or tolerance, let's say in text. And see, it's asking for some text. And if I said, all right, I want to say just test line 2. And I don't know, click off of it, I guess, maybe, I don't know. I didn't see the text show up anywhere. Oh, there it is. It's way out of whack because the defaults are set incorrectly. But what it does is this is now just, well, it's still a leader. All right. Whereas if we draw, which one did we do? We did that one.
That's what we did, yeah.
Do a leader with text. See, this brings up these options for us. Text is automatic, justification automatic. Make it rotation. Use in text, you're going to use a horizontal tick. That means after you draw the arrow away, it's going to put a little horizontal tick mark. There's our sizes, current drawing properties for the layer and the style, and prompt for the text. Okay, so if we say okay, and we go from here. Now I could go and get the midpoint of the line, but the arrowhead would get lost. I want to go from right in there. And I'll point. I get it big enough to get the arrowhead shown. Oh, I see. And now if I said, I just said escape. Aha, okay. So let's repeat that command. This time, instead of right here, this curved leader, if I say that, if I go from here, go out here, and if I said escape, it just gives me that. I go from here to here. And if I put a space in, why isn't it? Putting in my horizontal tick. Horizontal tick. So, this is what it's really for, is you would say, L9. It's still not. All right, if I wanted to label that, I came off here and I called that, see, I guess you have to be far enough away for the tick to show up. All right, so I went from here. Yeah, it's not going to be far enough. But if I use this one, see, when you get too close, the arrowhead goes away.
Yeah,
But if I do this and then come out here with it, I could go all over the place, making my arrow however I wanted.
yeah, which command was that?
The very first two, the multi-leader would have multiple arrows, but this was the second one down.
Okay,
So now if I say enter, now I could start typing text and all that kind of stuff, but I'm going to say, I'm just going to, well, I can just hit it. Draw leader, this one right here.
okay,
If I start here, oh, there's the L9, so I can I can come out here, this is just a little ways here. And now annotation, if I hit enter, and now enter again for options, and then type in for none. There we go.
Arrow didn't show up.
Oh, yeah. There we go. The annotation, options, in for none. All right, then I would just take this and position it like that.
Okay.
And then maybe you could take these together. I'm gonna go out here and fine tune the placement a little bit. And then you could do the, you know, fix this. Well, that 203 is not going to be showing up.
Right.
So I would, just, yeah, move that up to like, is that just, oh, that's just text. Okay. Yeah, that'd be all right.
Yeah.
So now let's look and see what that looks like here now. There you go.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So down here now. All right, there's your L13. So show me now that you can do that one.
Okay.
And that one you could go ahead and snap to the midpoint of the line because you can see it. No, it's the one left of the circle. There it is. Oh, wait,
Oh,
never.
no.
Nope. All right, so just snap, press escape and do it again and snap nearest and just pick something that looks close to the middle of that.
Okay, which one is nearest?
Nearest should be the,
There.
there it is. You can keep going. There you go. Now, if you hit enter and enter,
Click my mouse.
no, hit enter, look at the command line. It's asking for annotation. So if you hit enter, it's going to now bring up options. And you can hit enter again and choose in for none. Where was the tick?
Well, that's where I asked you if I should hit enter and you said no. I mean, hit
Oh,
click on the mouse.
Pick the, I'm sorry.
Let me do it over again.
Yeah. When you type text and if it's far enough away from the arrow and all that, it puts that in there for you. But in these tight spaces, you're going to need to draw that in. I'd, I'd make it as close to horizontal as you could. All right. Well, that's all right. We can fix it later.
Then enter
Mm-hmm.
and enter again. And then N for none.
Correct.
And then click on this and make it east.
Huh?
And then move it.
Yeah, you can just move it with the grip now if you wanted, but either way. And be careful because it's going to snap. That's all right. I'd put it right there. And now, but I would come up here too, though. I would make this a little more horizontal. You can either eyeball it or you can come over here and sit on it and hover, and sometimes if you hover, it'll pick that. There it is. You see how it's,
Yeah.
and then we just do it like that. And then you could just grab that and snug it up there. Now remember, your point numbers are going to go away, the OH is away, and then you might need to just reposition this one a little bit like that. Okay.
And hit escape.
Yep.
Yeah, already did. Then go back and look at the merger plat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So, adjust those accordingly. And if you want to, like, all of these others are on this side of the line and this one's on that side, you might want them all on the same side.
Right.
Just for consistency's sake. Again, that's, you're going for clarity. That's the biggest thing. And here's another little potential issue there. I would maybe select that and just scooch it a little bit. You don't want to get into the L10. Or you could even bring this guy up. I like this on the inside because it knows it stops right there. That's
right. That's why I did it like that.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, let me save this.
Yep. And then
And I just go through and do a bunch of cleanup stuff.
Yeah, and then make sure when you're done, like down here, I see one of these points. Just make sure if they're all supposed to be on top.
Yeah.
I would select similar and then bring them to the front.
Oh, that's gotta be the wrong symbol then, because it's still not going to the front.
Yeah, that's right. So then, yep.
Yeah.
There you go. Same thing
That
down
means
here.
that this one isn't the right symbol, probably.
Yep. So yeah. There you go. Now, what is that thing that looks like a letter T in there? Is that?
Oh, that's an X. That's a proposed highway entrance. I'm gonna turn it off on this plat and then turn it back on when I submit to the highway department. I'll
Okay.
label it as proposed entrance.
Yeah.
For this side, for the
For the HOP?
planning commission, I don't want to show it at all.
Right, okay. Well, I mean, you know how to do all those little cleanups, so.
Yeah.
But keep in mind,
I thought we did all those.
I don't know if we got them all. I thought we might have. I may have hit undo a couple of times too many at some point. I don't know.
Okay, but I know how to do those. I can get that taken care of.
Alrighty.
Huh, and somehow all went back. Well, I don't need to take up your time with this.
Well, I'm here for you, but I don't want to waste yours because this is editing that you can do on your dime
Yeah,
instead of sharing your dimes. So, um, anything else? Do we still need to tackle that 0.83, or is that something you need to stew on?
I need to stew on that for a while. Let's,
Yeah. And if nothing else, Michael, you can bring those points in or find ones that are different and just bring those points in, like maybe make a temporary, make another coordinate file and bring all the points in and,
right,
merge them around. You know how to manipulate those. So,
right.
okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right. That all you need?
I think.
Okie doke.
Thanks
Well,
for today.
think you got something good to play with. You've learned a couple of new things. We got multiple viewports that even overlap, but we got tables. We've got how to deal with Excel, which usually means you just do it over. So,
Right, right,
all of those good things. You got your hatch editing like a polyline when we matched up to the center of the creek.
right.
Um, yeah, you got it. Oh, we missed one, Mike.
Where? This one, what?
An L. See, you got an L3 and an L4. And you took the L4 off of that little diagonal looking line. What about that vertical looking line right up into C1?
Oh. Oh, we did miss one.
Right.
How do you fix that?
All right, so that means that was L23, L24, then C1. What is their last L number? Was it that L24? Oh, we left out there. We didn't have to insert it in the middle. So C1, then we need an L25 in here. All
Okay.
right. So you show me now how to put in that line because you should remember that part.
Well, let's see if I do. See, I want to do that on the model, right?
Well, you wouldn't have had to, but you could, yeah. Oh, wait before you do anything here. That needs to go. All right, that's that to where does this arc? It goes from here.
Oh, you know what? It's going to the wrong point. Or the point's in the wrong place.
Ah. Let me fix that hatch back to where it was. And what about, no, that hatch is in the right place because of that dotted line.
Right.
All right, so
I don't
right.
know, I'm gonna have to scratch my head over that a bit.
All right, so if you do though, and if you need to reposition this point, then you'll just grab this and bring that down. If it is indeed two separate points,
Oh, I'm sure it's not two separate points.
yeah, I was gonna say, but if it ever becomes one, and if you had to add a vertex in, you would go and like put it you know, somewhere over there, and then you would turn one of those things back into a, either turn it into a line. Yeah, or yeah, let me do one here that's not, yeah, let's just say I had it like that. And it went to that point, then to that point, then what you need to do, once you do that, is you grab that midpoint and then you snap it down to the midpoint of the arc that you're trying to match.
Right.
So let me get rid of. That, I think I got rid of it, put it back. Yeah, okay, so it's back, but take a look at that and figure that part out.
Okay, I will.
But to do your L20, whatever it was, that's
25.
one, it would be L25. So go ahead and put that L25 in. And then if you need to move that line, once you grip at it, that it will update the table.
Okay, so I go to annotate,
Uh-huh.
Line curve table,
Yep.
line table.
Okay.
Pick point or point number for the first point on the line.
Yeah, it's still in point mode. So now if you go, yeah, see, that's got the endpoint. All right, so that's fine. And 25, and you hit enter. All right, so now it's labeled now. Go ahead and just press escape or whatever. Okay, now what we need to do though is
See if it showed up on the table. Yep, it did.
they're on the table, but if you look over here on the back here, we got to make sure that first of all that our viewport was big enough to get it in there. It was. It stretched it out. Now, if you want this to come up and be on that line, you'd have to move this again, and you move the viewport and you do a move, and then you can snap to the drawn lines. Okay, but it's moving the viewport. You're not moving the geometry.
Right.
You're just moving the viewport. Okay.
Yeah.
So. All right, now I'll put you back over here. And then verify. Because you've got L25, which is this one. C1 is this one. L3 is probably from the center of this point to the center of this point.
Yeah, I think so.
I think that one's correct. And then you move this L4 down here.
Right.
So. Yeah, I think you're all right. Just keep track of where you are and double check your stuff. All right. So
Let
that's,
me hit a save on that. Yeah.
yeah, there he is. All righty.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All righty. I'll send you links for the video.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Be good.
Bye.